me be brave enough to trust myself. Let me be brave enough to embrace my essence. Let me have the courage to stand up for the truth. Let me be brave enough to overcome. Yeah. Let me be brave enough to lift my heavy heart. Yeah. Let me be brave enough to embrace and embody me. Love is.
Hey loves, it's your girl Sherika Shay, and we got King Ali on the other line. Say what's up, Ali.
What up, man?
Welcome back to another episode of Incarcerated Chats. So let's get into it, all right? Let's talk about
Using somebody in a way that you shouldn't use that person.
Right.
So I think it all correlates, it all goes together.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about it. Why do people use people? Why do people do that? Whether you incarcerated, especially in this instance, we're talking about incarceration. So why do even women, they give this fairy tale to the men, and I'm sure, it goes vice versa as well, but they try to create this fairy tale. I want you to can you talk about like an experience, or how does that make you feel? Has it happened to you? Things like that.
It's wrong to play a person anyway.
Period.
Whether, incarcerated or on the streets, I think, the reality is, and I'm going to speak from the perspective of someone that's incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
You're with somebody, you're solely damn near dependent on that person, in that sense. So, for somebody to mislead you or treat you a certain way, that shit hurts. It hurts, man. So, I don't think it's right. I think honesty is the best policy.
Yes, it is.
Depending on what you have going with that person. And generally, we just got to keep it real. A lot of times people play games, I was speaking from this perspective, and forgive me how I'm about to speak. She got the jail nigga and she got the street nigga.
At the same time?
She's using them and playing them against each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the reality is, when you embed that, incorporate that into the relationship, and that man doesn't know, and he falls in love with you, or he's feeling you in that way, and you're sitting there and you got another dude, but you're telling this man you love him and you want to commit to him in that way, then that's messed up, man. To me, it's almost like you victimizing the person in that sense. I know that's kind of heavy when I use that term, but that's what that kind of is. Like, because especially if that person didn't act for you to treat that person that way,
I totally agree with you.
Why do you have the right?
That's crazy though. That's crazy. You got the dude on the street, and you got the one that's incarcerated. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? There's something missing, right? There's something that one or the other is providing. And that's the only reason why I think that a lot of people play each other. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they have multiple people, or some people are just not ready. You know what I'm saying? They're not ready. Now, when you're not ready, the best formula is to be honest. Period. Point blank. You got to be honest out the gate, because you give people that opportunity to decide if they want to deal with you. Now, if you honest out the gate and this is what it is, okay, boom. This is what we deciding to do, then boom, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you lying, if you hiding, and you sneaking, and you dodging, and you ducking, all of that comes back. And ain't nobody got time for that. You ain't even got time for that. You feel me? Life is already hard, and people don't really understand that. You got to be honest with people from the jump and give people that choice to do what they want to do and choose you if they want to continue to rock with you or whatever the case may be. But sneaking, jiving, and oh my God, it ain't funny. But you know what I'm saying? It's just because it's you gonna pay for that. You gonna pay for it in some way. And so it behooves you to not do it. It behooves you to be honest from the jump. And that's what I have to say on that. Like, and then too, I feel that, like I said, it's something that they're getting, right? Because I know a lot of times, like, people provide, you provide that support, that emotional support, that mental stimulation, a different conversation. And so we have to be aware of that. People will come to you, say what you say, exactly what they think you want to hear, and it might sound good, you know what I'm saying, just to get that energy from you, just to give what you giving, just to give the essence of your soul, the essence of your spirit. People will take and take and take. And so that's why it's important, when you recognize it, you gotta either speak up for yourself, put those boundaries in place for real, because givers, we gonna give, and takers gonna take. They gonna take till you ain't got nothing left. You feel me? And it's sad that it has to be that way, but it's out here. It's prevalent. So prevalent.
I think too, like you said, a lot of important things. People. That's what I was saying when I started off. Our youth. We all use each other to a stick, but when you start to misuse somebody in that way, particularly somebody that's, being incarcerated, man, you're deprived of a lot of things. So to have somebody to talk to in that way, and this person is telling you that they want to be one with you, and you sitting there lying to them, that's messed up, man. And that's generally, I'm speaking from the perspective of particularly being in here. So I done seen cats up like that, right? And that shit, like, man, you see these dudes like their head down because they're believing you because we can't see you. It ain't like I got eyes on you. I can see you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I have to believe what you say. I have to take what you say for face value.
I'm taking you at face value. Yeah.
And for me to trust you in that way, you know what I'm saying, man, that's fucked up that you would want to do somebody like that. But
absolutely,
this is the reality that we live in. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, people will do that because when you look at the difference, maybe this dude provides something different from the man on the streets. But at the end of the day, that don't give you the right to use either one of them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's fucked up, and we got to understand that, So also I want to say this too, like when I look at it like this. A person doesn't have the right to sell you something that's bunk. It's equivalent to that lemon car you get. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a lemon.
Yeah.
Right? Because you telling me it's good. And
Thank God they got laws for that now. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It should be a law for what be going on. How these women be doing some of these cats up here. That should be a law too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have the right to sell me something like that. And then once I believe it wholeheartedly, knowing that you lying the whole time, that this car gonna break down in 2 days. You know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where we have to understand. Like I advise people, like you said, it do sound good. And when it do sound good, and it's like that, look, man, you know what I'm saying? Because you gonna believe what you gonna believe, and you can't be mad at a cat if a cat believe that or he feel that.
Yeah.
But it's wrong for you to tell him that if that's not what you mean.
Right.
Like you say, be honest. Say, look, I'm messing with Sancho down the street. Me and Sancho, we good, but I like you too, though.
Yeah.
Give that person the opportunity to say, give that person the opportunity, man.
Absolutely.
Don't tell that person on no BS.
Don't tell them on no BS. Wrong. Yeah, and then too, there's another side effect to it. The other person on the other end, that's getting the short end of the stick. You dealing with heartbreak. That's unnecessary. You are going to create a boundary and a wall for that person because now I got to really protect myself, and it's going to be hard for me to let the next person in potentially because I got to think back on what this person did or how they treated me and all that stuff. So it creates a cycle that it shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be out here, you want to be for the streets, then be for the streets. Give people that opportunity. But if you low key want to be with somebody, you want to find somebody to ride with you, you want to find somebody to build with you, you want to find somebody that's going to be there for you, that's going to support you, and vice versa, then say that, right? Say that. Or if you out here dating multiple people, I get it. Because it's plenty out here. It's plenty. And human beings are beautiful. Okay? They're beautiful. And so, but just be upfront with it. Low key, it's like just be upfront all the way. And then too, like with women, that's where those walls come from. And so it'd be hard for dudes to get past that. And ladies, we have to be careful with that. Not okay, but we have to be careful with that, because you need to heal from whatever you need to heal from, because this new individual, this new man is not that old man, right? So you cannot project those things on that old man, because you cannot project those things on this new man, because he's not him. He might remind you of him, because a lot of us got a preference. We got a type. So you got to be careful with your preference and be careful with your type. You feel me? Because I think a lot of times we miss out on different individuals, or we get comfortable. And so sometimes comfortability can kill you. It can stifle you. So we have to be careful with that. But ladies, heal those wounds and don't bring that additional or that other trauma from the past to this new. Give a new an opportunity. Give a new to show you how they love. Because if we don't give them that opportunity, we ain't gonna do nothing but push it away. You got to heal all that old stuff. Learn, take what you need to learn. Get them boundaries right. What you accept, what you won't accept, right? We are human. We do make mistakes, but don't bring that old to this new. Get a new a chance, okay? Give new a chance, okay? Give new a chance. And vice versa, fellas, give new a chance, And I know it take men. I think, to be honest with you, I think men are more sensitive than women. I think men are more sensitive than women. And I'm going to tell you why really quickly. Simply because women, we're more what's the word? Intrinsic? No, I don't know if that's the right word that I want to use, but we're emotional beings, right? So we're fluid with our emotions. Men are not necessarily fluid with their emotions, right? So we will allow ourselves to feel the different emotions, the anger, the sadness, the upsetness, or whatever the case may be, the hurt and the happiness and the joy, the highs and the lows. Us women, we are intuitive, right? We're naturally nourishers, right? And so we have a multitude of emotions, and so we feel those. Men, I don't think they allow themselves to feel that. And so ladies, there's that disconnect, right? There's that disconnect in how we communicate, because men are simple. I'm learning that men are simple. Most men are simple. And because we're so complex, that's the word I wanted to say, because we are so complex as women, we have to be careful and really pay attention to what our gentlemen and our men are saying to us that are in our lives. Really listen to them when they speak. You know what I'm saying? Really pay attention, because you'll miss some things. And I'm telling you this because I've done it. You don't want to miss anything. You know what I'm saying? Listen to them. Listen to them. You got men in your life, listen to them. Listen to them when they speak. Listen to them when they get ready to express themselves. Listen to them when they're upset. Give them time when they're upset, right? But be that listening ear, because you'll be able to hear what he can't really say or what he's not saying, simply because you are tapped in and in tune to the different energies. We already tapped in, ladies. So yeah, that was just kind of came up. But that was it, cousin. Yeah, that was sharing what I've learned and what I've witnessed within myself. You know what I'm saying? Just slow down and listen to them, because they're really simple. And then if you don't understand, ladies, you gotta ask questions, right? We gotta ask questions. Yeah, we ask questions so that we can understand. And fellas, when we ask questions, don't be defensive when we ask questions, because we're asking because we want to understand. Vice versa.
But look though,
Mm-hmm.
look, Queen,
Yes.
there's a way to ask questions.
True.
And you have to learn how to ask those questions in that way in order for you to get the proper response. Because see, one thing I learned about communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's different forms of communication.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you ask me, you rolling your eyes, you moving that neck, you wagging that finger, my response might not be the response you think you're going to get.
Right.
So we have to understand body language. That's how communication, that's a form of communication as well.
It is.
So I want to trust you. I want to believe in you. I want to have faith in you. I want to uplift you. I want you to do those same things for me, but I want you to be able to communicate to me, one, the way that we need to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Because if our communication ain't in tune or in sync, it's not going to work. So when you do ask me a question, I may feel apprehensive to answer. I may feel offended based on how you're communicating to me. Right?
Yep.
So what you touched on, because men are simple. You know, we're not that complicated in that sense where we're going to be too complicated.
Right.
But communication for men is very important, and vice versa to your woman. That's absolute. We have to
Absolutely.
be able to communicate the right way.
Yes.
We can't be communicating when we angry, we upset, or we in our feelings. That's not going to help us. It's going to lead to an argument.
Right.
That's going to lead to somebody getting their feelings hurt more. That's going to lead to you hanging up the phone, you pulling off, you know, you blocking me. That's what's all that's going to lead to.
Yeah.
So we got to understand communication and how you ask something. It's very important. But I did want to touch on what you were speaking about in regards to the trauma when it comes to what somebody's dealing with in a relationship and they ain't healed from, or what they're causing on the person that they're with now that they did what they